Welcome to Macrocode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today I want us to learn something very interesting, that is how to read appsettings.json file and use those data that is within the appsettings.json file. So you'll realize that we've been, for example, the connection to the database, we've been storing them on the appsettings.json. And here we have the default connection. So on our apps, that is program.cs, we realize that we've been getting the values, that is the connection to the database from this particular file, and we are accessing the connection string, and that is the default connection. So the appsettings.json file, we can store a lot of data within this particular file. That is either the documents that you want to upload to the, assuming you are doing uploads. So you can even have, for example, here we can say here, my documents. So you can say documents. Then you can have a lot of, assuming you want to attach various files to your application, then you can always have that. So here you can have you can say logs files. You can also do, let's say assuming you have another document, you can say images, assuming you want to separate images. So you can always have, so you can store those paths on this particular file. Also, this is because this is our API, you can also have the JWT information here. So you can say here, you can say this, you can say here we have JWT, and we can have, can just have this. So here I can say, for example, you can store the key. You can also, so for example, here we can say we have the issuer. You can put in your issuer there. You can also have your audience. You can have your audience. You can put in your audience. You can also have here expiry time, which is actually in minutes. You can also have something else. So let's say, I think we can just have those two. So, and you can see, you should ensure that when you are opening the quotes, you should ensure that they are closed, and that is a key value pair. So you have the issuer, you provide the issuer here. You also have the audience, you also provide your audience here. So for the files, all the files, assuming you are attaching documents on your application, you can always store those particular paths on this particular section. Instead, so when you are deploying the application, you don't need to you don't need to redeploy. You just come to app settings and you change these specific folders. So for example, in case you want to separate the PDF documents, we just say here PDF documents, or you can say PDF. Then you can have your PDF path here. So here, in case this changes, and assuming you deploy this to the server, you can then have your IP address. So you can now have, in case you have a network drive, then you can map it to this particular section. Then that is a simple way on how you can store. So that's the essence of having these app settings. And remember, these app settings, if you click it, you'll see we have another file called appsettings.development. So you can also have, assuming you are operating on different environments, so you can have your development environment here, and you can also have the same information. Assuming this is a setting for production, you can also have the same settings for development environment. So whenever you deploy, you'll only be using the app settings, which is meant for production, and you stay with the ones that you have here for development. So what I want us to do today is for ASP.NET Core, program.cs usually loads the appsettings.json, and it depends. So we have even the appsettings.development, and you can have appsettings.production. So I want us to learn how you can access these values. That is the values that we have here. So there are various ways on how you can do that. So for example, if you go to products.controller, so these are products.controller, I can do here private, can do a private read only. Then I can say IConfiguration. So you can use we can read values using IConfiguration, which is actually a basic way to get values from appsettings.json. Then I can inject it here. So I'll just do this. Then we can have configuration. Then I'll have my configuration. So here let me just do here underscore. Then I can have this here. So this is our configuration, and I've already assigned. So to get the values, for example, here you can say you can create maybe another get method that we are going to use it to just showcase things. So you can say get app settings values. So this one, if we come here and we say we can get the issuer, so we can say string issuer, and you can say configuration, then JWT, and this JWT is actually the section. So you see here. So I'll go back here and say JWT. So let me rename this. I'll have this as JWT. Then we have the issuer. So the issuer will give us the values that we have. So this one, then we can now return our issuer. So as you can see, we've been able to access this. So then that's another one basic way to access the values from that. But also you can access, for example, the expiry dates here. So expiry minutes, and which is actually an integer. So we can say here int expiry, so expiry minutes. So you can see we can do here, so we can do something like configuration. Then we say get value. So here you'll say get value. Then here we say this is an int, and then we say here JWT expiry minutes. So you can see this is saying cannot index with expression type method group. So here we say here we need to change this here. We do this. So and we do that. So this will give us the expiry in minutes, and we are able to access that particular value. So there's another way. So for reading the connection strings, that is what we did on our app settings here. So you can also read the connection string, and you can see the connection here. We have the connection to the database, we have our server, we have the database, and so to get this connection string, you can also read it on here. You can do the same thing. So you can say string, then con. Then you can see you have the connection string, then underscore configuration, then get connection string. So we have the built-in helper method here. So you can see we have the get connection string. So there is another way to, which I actually recommend. There is another way to retrieve values from app settings using the strongly typed configuration, that is option patterns. So for example, for our JWT, we can create a class here. So we can create here a class called JWT options. Then on our JWT option, we have all our values that so you can see issuer, we can have it here. Where is it? This is our issuer. We have our audience. Where is our audience? You can also include the secret key. So here you can have here, comma, we do secret key, and we can provide here some secret key. So we say, you can say, this is our secret key. So this is our secret key. Then you can also, so this should be secret key. So here, then our options, you can have that, and then our expiry minutes, which is also an int. So see, after doing this, then the next thing is we need to bind it in program.cs. So you'll come here and you can do builder.services, then dot configure. So you'll say configure. Then you pass in your JWT options. you pass in your JWT options, then you say builder dot configuration, then get section. So this get section is the section on our app settings, and this is the section here. You'll just come here and do app settings. Where is it? Under program.cs. Then we say get section. So this will give us the values of our JWT options. So assuming you want to get these values and use them, so you might be having a service, for example, token service. So let's just create one. We say token service. So here, if you have something like this token service, let me have a constructor. So if you have something like this, then you can do to access those values. That is the values within here. That is the JWT options and the values that we have within our app settings. Then we can do something like private read only. So instead of IConfiguration, we are not using this. We'll just say JWT options. So that is our class that we had created. Then we can have this. Let's call this underscore. Then in our constructor here, we need to inject, we'll say here IOptions. So this will be IOptions. So I'll do IOptions. Then here I'll pass our JWT options. Then I'll also do here options. Then here I can now say JWT options equals to options, then dot value. So these now, to get the values now from this, we'll be accessing these values. For example, if you want to access the expiry minutes, if you want to access the, so to access those values, so for example, you want to get the tokens. So here, we'll say you want to generate the token. So let me just say here return null. So to access the values here, how do we do that? So I can access the expiry in minutes. So I'll say expiry in minutes. You can see I'll just do JWT options, then I do expiry minutes. I can also access something else. So I can also say variable issuer, I do JWT options, then I access that. I can also do audience. So that is how you can access those particular values. So this is what I'll recommend for you guys to be doing. So you can read this. And also you can have a way on how you can read a lot of things from app settings. So if you want to also read the documents, you can also do the same thing. So you can create the documents here, same class here. You can say maybe this is a documents attachment, and say document attachments. Then options. Then you can have the various options here. So you can say maybe here we can say, assuming you have modules in your application and every module has a different section you are storing files. You can say maybe case management. You can have another section. So this is case management path. So you can say here case management. Let me just rename this. Case management path. You can also have another path. Let's say this is string. You can also have here, let's say a registration path. So you can have as many paths as possible. Then here on our program.cs, instead of doing this section here, we'll just do now documents options. Then you pass the path, the section. So the section will be now documents. So you'll be having that documents. Then you can reuse those options within your application. So the same case on our app settings. Remember, you might want your application to send emails. So you can also have the email settings on this particular section instead of add coding. So you'll just come here and do email, say email settings. Then here you can have various email configurations in your app that you might want to use. So for example, you can have the SMTP server, provide your SMTP port, sender name, and even the email address that you want to be using. So that is a simple way on how you can retrieve. So this one, in case you want the options as well, you can always have the email options. So you can create the email options, then you get the section email settings, then you can be using it. So that is how you can access the values within app settings, and you can make it use within your application. And I think that is a simple way on how you to get those values. So in case you have any question, you can comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed. So if you're one of them, consider subscribing, and see you in our next episode. Bye.